Welcome in Ricky's Mailbag. I want you to like and subscribe over here. Okay, what we do here is we take your questions. Dylan McKinnon is with me. Dylan reads the questions. We answer those questions to the best of our ability, and we'll see what we come up with. Also, you can catch me on Unfiltered with Bill Colarulo, Savannah Kelleher, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia. Let's kick it off, Dylan.
Yeah, this first one is from Derek. Why is Rob Thomson so against using a definitive closer?
Wow. You know what? I think for the most part, I think the game has changed in that sense. It used to be that every team had their set closer. They had their two setup guys, and they would just kind of run the game from there. I think right now, Rob Thomson is in the analytics way. And when what analytics says is to go with the best of your ability. And in that sense, what you would do is you go with matchups. So if you have three left-handers coming up, most likely if you have Strom in the eighth and then maybe Kerkering in the ninth, the left-handers are probably in the eighth inning. Now, if it was opposite, I think he does the old switcheroo and you put Kerkering in the eighth and then Strom in the ninth. I think Kerkering would be a really good closer. I think if they gave him the opportunity to do it every single day, I think he could really kind of succeed. I think he could be one of those guys for a long period of time that could understand the job and do the job well. The other problem the Phillies have right now is they're basically going with two late relievers. And I just brought those two up, Strom, Kerkering. I don't know what you're going to get from Jordan Romano. I think that's something that has been like teeter-totter all season long. He's kind of up, he's kind of down. You never know when you're going to get the good guy. You never know when you're going to get the implosion right now. So that, to me, becomes a little bit of an issue. And I think what he's doing right now is just kind of mix and matching, and he's trying to survive. I think they're really trying to survive until the trade deadline, but that will be seen when it comes up. But right now, I think Rob Thomson is stuck in the analytics department. And what that means is he goes with matchups.
Okay, this next one is from Graphic Designer for Life. Should Dombrowski push all in at this deadline?
Wow. All in is a strange thing to say. All in would mean to me that you're getting rid of all your prospects and you're bringing in a bunch of veterans that could get the job done and aren't afraid to play at the playoff level. I think he's going to throw some chips in. I think he's definitely going to be in the market for a couple relievers. I wouldn't doubt if there's stuff going on as we speak. I think one thing that he has made known is that the Phillies will be in the market for two late inning relievers. I know a lot of people say, well, I'll just take one and we'll be good with that. I don't know. I think this workload is going to wear and tear on certain guys out in the bullpen, especially the guys late inning games. And why do I say that? Because when you look at what your starting pitchers are doing right now, pretty much a lot of quality starts, which means that leaves you with maybe 2 innings to fill in at the end of a ball game. Now, who's going to get those innings? Obviously, the games most likely are going to be close with the starting pitching you have. So that means the wear and tear on the late inning guys. And if you don't go out and get two relievers, I think that wear and tear is going to really kind of rear its evil head come late August and early September. I think one of the problems is that guys get tired out in the bullpen. They have too many appearances. They pitch too many innings. Right now they don't really go that many days in a row, so that's not really an issue. But when you're going, 3 out of 5 or something like that, I think these guys are more conditioned to go every other day. And that would be a lot more beneficial than anything else. But I think because of your starting pitchers and because of what you have, I think 2 relievers are huge. The other thing is there's a lot of talk. They still need a right-handed bat in the outfield. That's about the most easier said than done thing in the world, because you have to understand all the teams that are vying for playoffs with that extra wild card is basically almost everybody except for the handful of lower end teams. And by the handful, I mean 5-6 teams that will be sellers at the trade deadline. But you talk about pushing all in. That's what happens, is that you have to push deeper and deeper into a situation until you find yourself kind of covered in it. And right now, I don't know if Dave Dombrowski is going to be willing to throw all in. And by all in, I would say, guys like Abel, Painter, Crawford, Miller. I don't think he's going to go with all those guys. I think he's willing to lose maybe one of those guys, and that's about it. I think you start losing two or three of those guys, then your minor leagues are really depleted. And that to me becomes a problem in the long run. It becomes a problem down the line.
Yeah, Joe wants to know, do you think the Phillies are missing a lot by not bunting more often when runners on first and second and no outs?
Let me put it this way. It really depends on the game. It depends on what the game looks like. It depends on what type of game is going on. If you're talking about the seventh inning, laying down a bunt, moving a runner. As a matter of fact, I saw Brandon Marsh do it, or Bryson Stott do it last night. So guys are doing it. They are laying down bunts when they need to. But I think the game really dictates what you need to do. The one-run games and the tie games are the ones that you want to move the runners over because, let's face it, if you get them over to second and third with one out, I mean, you should be able to get that run in with just a fly ball. Although the way this team strikes out, that's not always a given either. And I think that also plays into why they don't bunt as much. Because I think they look at the situation and say, all right, we have 3 outs to get 1 hit. If we could sneak in 1 hit here, we're going to be in pretty good shape. We're going to score a run. We're going to get a go-ahead run or a tying run. The other thing is it depends on where you are in the lineup. If you're deep in the lineup where we're 7, 8, 9 hitters, I don't think Rob Thompson's afraid at all to lay down a bunt, and maybe you get to turn over the lineup, maybe see a Trey Turner or a Kyle Schwarber come up in that same inning. Then all of a sudden you're talking about a big inning. And I think a lot of teams play for that big inning. But this year, the Phillies are not necessarily the slugging team that they've been known to be in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, when you think back, the Phillies were all about hitting the ball out of the ballpark, going gap to gap, a lot of extra base hits. They show flashes of that, but not enough.
And then Collie wants to know, is this just rust for Harper or a sign of a deeper issue?
Yeah, I think for the most part, Bryce Harper is in a situation where he probably should have gone down to Lehigh Valley or Reading and gotten some swings in. I think it's really that simple. Because when you're off a month, think about all those at-bats you missed. You're missing, close to 60, 70 at-bats in a month. And that's a lot. And when I go deeper into that, you're off for a month, your timing can't be good. There's no way. I don't care if you faced a couple of live pitchers here and there. That's not going to get you to the point where you feel good about yourself. You're seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hands. You're acknowledging what pitch is coming, and you're taking good swings. I think you try to put all 3 of those together. What is going to get him better? More time at the plate. And you're going to have to go through a little bit of a lull period. And I think right now that's what you're seeing from Bryce Harper. I'm not really sure that power is going to be there all year. It really hasn't been from the beginning of the season. So I can't sit here and say there's no doubt his power is going to come back because there's no belief in that. You haven't seen it yet this year, so you don't really have a big belief in his power coming back. I mean, can his doubles and maybe big hits come back? Yeah, I believe that could happen. I don't know about that wrist. I don't know how long that wrist is going to hold up. I don't know how long that wrist is going to be pain-free either. So a lot of questions still with Bryce Harper, but I will say right now, it's all a timing thing.
And finally, Brian asked, is Wheeler going to be robbed of a Cy Young again, or will he finally win one?
In all honesty, I think he was robbed of at least 2 Cy Youngs right now. I got to believe he's going to win it this year. The way he's going right now and the way he's pitching, he's on another level. And I think the rest of the league is starting to see that. The rest of the league is starting to understand that. The one thing that he does not have on his side is being the young buck and the big prospect coming up, and that's Paul Skeens. So I think it's going to be a 2-way battle again for Zack Wheeler, and it seems like it's like this every single year, that he's going to have to keep turning it on every single time he goes out there. I mean, you're going to have a bad game here and there, but you're going to have to back it up with a gem. I believe Wheeler deserves a Cy Young. I believe he probably should have already gotten one, like I said. I think he should have beaten out Chris Sale. What was that, last year? I think he was better than Chris Sale. I think he was more efficient, pitched more innings. I think all that should come into play. but sometimes analytics will grab you and won't let you go. And I think Zack Wheeler was in that boat last year against Chris Sale. There you have it, Ricky's Mailbag for this week. Don't forget, like and subscribe down here. Also, you can catch me, Savannah Kelleher, and Bill Colarulo on Unfiltered, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia. Thanks for watching Unfiltered on YouTube. You could like and subscribe down here. You could also see our other shows over here. Go ahead and watch them all. We love when you watch. The one thing, hey, you could also catch us on 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia. See you there.